Hey everybody, Bob here. Some of you know me as W2CYK. I'm out of here on Long Island, eastern Long Island, the beginning of the North Fork of Long Island. Just wanted to share with you my little project I've been working on for the last year. So this is a 96 OJ Bronco. The real deal. It's an OJ Bronco. Even a special edition. So what I did was, this thing had about 240,000 miles on the 5.8 liter, whatever, the V8 Windsor, 351 Windsor. And it was getting kind of tired. It was doing about 9.5 to 10 miles to the gallon. And now this thing is doing about 26 to 28 miles to the gallon. So what I've put in here is a 4-cylinder Cummins. This is normally an industrial engine, typically used on electrical generators, water pumps for agriculture, etc. Things that run a lot, constantly, for years and years and years. So I took this out of I got this out of a wrecked Frito Lays truck, an aluminum Grumman panel van, and now it's sitting in my Ford Bronco. So I wanted to show you a bit and show you how we did it. It's the transmission's the original E40D. By using the E40D, I did not have to do anything behind the bell housing, so no custom cross member for the transmission, no custom drive shafts. I literally bolted the motor up to it and we worked forward from there. So pretty straightforward stuff. In order to control the E40D, because the ECM down there no longer sees an engine in the truck, so it has no idea how to tell the E40D how to shift, I used a US Shift Quick 4 controller. And there it is, right there. I didn't make a mount for it. That's probably tomorrow's project. We're running inside here some a parameter and a boost from Glow, boost gauge from Glow. I'm running about during heavy acceleration, I get up to about 15. I have seen it as high as 20, but 15 pounds of boost from this original OEM turbo down there. So we're probably going to upgrade that a little bit. I think we're going to put a different wheel in it to get it to spool up a little bit quicker. Have a little bit of a turbo lag, but any of you that have driven a turbo know that it exists on all turbos. Just we want to get a little bit of better low end response. So this was a project. It was an exercise in problem solving. How do you make a diesel engine that was never meant to go into a Ford and make it all work? So some of the stuff we did was, I made a throttle position sensor for the shift control module from a Dodge. I made a plate to mount it, and down below the pivot is just a bolt with a 5/16 head on it, and then I heated and forged the tip and banged it until it was like a spade to fit into the bottom of the throttle position sensor to make the throttle position sensor turn. So that worked out quite nicely and is very similar to an OEM application. I searched high and low for an OEM original equipment Dodge TPS and it was a dismal failure. Could not find one anywhere. So some of the problems we had to solve was cooling. So this is a radiator from a 6-cylinder F-150, straight 6 F-150, and I used turbo intercooler tubing pipe and silicone fittings for that. These are weighted at about 450 degrees, so that's much higher than, of course, the 180 to 200 degree cooling temperature of the water that normally runs through these things. So that worked out really quite nicely and gave me a lot of flexibility I literally got a box of various bends and just started chopping them up and making what I need. Is you can see the lower was a little bit of a custom job there, and that worked out quite nicely, solved the problem very easily. I had to change the water inlet for the cooling. So you can see I changed the water inlet down there. It was originally a 45 that came out the front and went down, and it was 3.5 inches in diameter. So it was very, very difficult for me to adapt that and get good angles to get into the radiator. So we changed that out. Found one on eBay. These things are like erector sets. There's so many different applications for these things, for these industrial motors, that, you know, like I said, they can go in any number of applications. So what else? DCS, diesel conversion specialist, provided this really cool bracketry. They call this a high mount. These two brackets and a tensioner and a belt, and it let us put on a Super Duty AC alternator and a Dodge from a D2500 pickup truck. So that's the AC compressor from one of those, bolted right up. Boom, no problem. We actually had these on the shelf, so that's why they're not shiny. Otherwise, we might clean them up, but we were trying to get this thing to work. We were not worrying about like little niceties. Let's see, down here, this is kind of cool. This is a fluid dampener. Made a huge difference. These little 4-bangers are much more vibration than a 6-cylinder Cummins from a Dodge. They're just about the same motor. The front and the rear are the same. They literally took out the two cylinders in the middle, so the front and the back are the same. So anything you want to bolt to the front of this, or the side, or the top, or whatever, is pretty much the same as on a 6-cylinder, with the exception of a few things, such as, well, intake plates and stuff like that on a 6-cylinder, a little bit different, but you can easily modify them. Not a problem. So let's see what else. We had to modify this slightly. This is a tack plate that we got from DCS and a tack pickup, and we had to move this out a little bit to be able to accommodate the fluid dampener. You can see I stacked some washers and moved the pickup away from the motor, and that worked out quite nicely. K&N air intake. The downpipe was an interesting project. I found a couple of very, very tight elbows, and we welded a VBand clamp onto the top one to get it off the turbo. Came down, had a little short piece of 3-inch pipe to get it down to the about maybe 6 or 8 inches or something, down to get it into the frame C channel, and then another elbow down at the bottom. And that then we went straight back, 3-inch open exhaust to a 5-inch tip. So very solid. You can see one of the hangers there. I used the stock hangers, and I had some of these hanger dowels around, and we made hangers with that. But beautiful work from my son and one of my son's friends and nephew. I like to call him my nephew, Dominic. So they did the nice welding on that. We had an exhaust party one night and banged that out. So a lot of fun. What else? Bilstein shocks. I cannot say enough positive things about the Bilsteins. I used some cheaper shocks early on, and they were horrible. Absolutely horrible. Of course, we had to put on some... Why is my focus gone? Whoop. Maybe I'll get it back. Diesel only stickers. You'll see the numbers written on the side, the 666. About 6 hours after we got this working, and I took a nice drive, 100-mile drive, we went to the tractor pull, and she pulled about 8,600 pounds at the tractor pull. So a lot of fun. Bilstein, US shift. What else? diesel conversion specialist, and now we're going to work on the body. We're going to make the body all right. So not too bad. There's not a lot of rust on this thing. The bottom of the body is absolutely clean. I don't know how that happened in a Northeast car. I have a feeling it came from the Southeast or something, Texas. I don't know. All I can tell you is that there's no rust on the bottom of this truck. So the frame looks great, bottom of the body looks great. A couple little dings in here and there on the body, so we're going to straighten that out. We're going to repaint it and make it look like it is gleaming new. So very exciting. What else? Oh, for those of you who are working on things like this, the clutch plate, the clutch plate where you would normally send the clutch, mount the clutch, what do you call it, the master cylinder, made a great place to run wires between the under the dash and out to the engine area. I use regular Ford senders for water and oil. This one I had to run up with a line. I used a Pack Pro oil filter relocation kit, because it wouldn't, the oil filter wouldn't fit behind the AC compressor. So like I said, it was just a lot of little problems you had to solve, but it is a fun ride and people love it, and when they see it they like know what it is, and they just I get a lot of looks and questions and stuff. So anyway, that's it. The OJ 4-cylinder Cummins. And thank you to Diesel Conversion Specialists for making beautiful products